Am I wrong for canceling our wedding? Original post. We have been engaged for 3 years. My fiancé went on a trip of a lifetime, 6 weeks in Europe. She decided that we would take a break in our relationship, allowing me no input in the decision. I called her the day she left and had me blocked, so I canceled our marriage and her moving in with me in March. She called me today to inform me of her arrival time on Thursday morning, to which I answered, what does that have to do with me, and have since blocked her. Edit, I should explain better. I was fine with her trip with her old college sisters. In fact, I dropped her at the airport and took her to boarding. That is when she dropped the whole break thing on me. Didn't explain it, just told me matter of fact and left. I called her the rest of the day and tried to call her when I was able to the rest of the week. After 5 days of ignoring me, I had enough. That the wedding was off. She can move in with someone else because it's not going to be me. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Cancelled wedding fees are much cheaper than a divorce lawyer and court costs. Can confirm. Spent 10 years and half my stuff to find this out. I'm reminded of one of my favorite comments I think I picked up here. The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. She blocked you for 6 weeks to go to Europe on a break so she could bang people. I am so sorry that happened to you. I would have broken up with my partner if he blocked me just because he goes on a trip. If she wants to be free before the marriage, she will do it again. Not wrong. Yeah, there was no need to have a break otherwise. She wanted to cheat without admitting to cheating. Why else would anyone need to have a break when it was simply a trip? I feel so bad for the OP too. She even allowed him zero input. Are you kidding me? And blocked him. What is wrong with her? OP, I'm happy for you that trash took itself out. I'm amazed at a woman's gall. 6 weeks before a wedding, taking a break from the relationship, going over to Europe, then expecting to come back as if everything is unchanged. She was probably thinking as she was getting on a plane, I'm not worried about that, I'll just give him some and get back in his good graces. Boy, is she going to get a surprise. Please update us. This is what she said. I'm going on a trip to get railed by anyone I choose, but when I get back, I expect you to be there for all the love and support in marriage. Also, don't ask what I actually did for 6 weeks, because I will lie and trickle truth you to the bitter end. Wow, the audacity on her. When she decided that you were taking a break with no input and blocked you, the relationship was ostensibly over. Actions have consequences. Trust is broken. You deserve better. Move on. Stay strong. It's going to be hard. You have not heard a last from her. I'm so sorry. Now for the first update. We have a group chat among people close to us. Today, I informed them all that our marriage is cancelled and our relationship is over. Did that about 10 a.m. The chat quite literally exploded, starting with questions about what happened, which I answered honestly. About 2 p.m., she started just asking me to call her so we could discuss this. I told her that talking on chat is perfectly fine. She said no, this is something between just us. Still have not spoken with her. Last message from her at 6 p.m. Please pick me up at the airport so we can talk this out as we planned. I answered her, that was your plan, not mine. None of this was my plan. Her flight is at 9 a.m. I wish her luck. Did she block you in social media too? Or just the phone? When I'm traveling, I always update my Instagram and Facebook feed with typical vacay pics. Surely her or one of the other girls kept everything updated? Was blocked everywhere I could think of. Stay strong, OP. Get ready for tears, not bubbles, the whole nine. There just simply isn't an excuse she can give you that will excuse the last 6 weeks. Keep that in mind and block her. No reason to keep entertaining the calls, voicemails, and texts. Hang in there. Good for you. Do yourself a favor and never speak to her again. She did not care about how her behavior would affect you and how badly she would hurt you. This is not someone that you spend the rest of your life with. Your ex did you a favor. If you were to meet with her, she would minimize her actions, call you controlling and insecure, and blame others. Do not give her closure or make her feel good about herself. I hope you change the locks to your apartment if she has the key, or else you could come home to a trashed apartment. Keep us posted. I didn't even think the fact that she has a key. I'm going to get that fixed right away. Very important to change the lock. Many an angry ex has trashed an apartment in retribution. In addition, you do not want to come home to her waiting for you inside and making a scene. I feel sorry that you're going through this, but best to find out now the type of person your ex really is. Keep us updated. Second update. First off, I got my ring back and it's safe with my mom. Secondly, I would like to thank everyone for keeping me grounded while I was doubting myself. I'm not sure who said it, but someone said that I shouldn't bother with what she did on her trip and focus on her breaking up with me at the airport, which I did and was not what she prepared to argue about. So now she knows how it feels to be blindsided also. Seems her college sisters told her I would be insecure and fight about something I couldn't hope to prove. So when I didn't, she didn't know what to do. At one point, she excused herself to go to the restroom and didn't come back for 20 minutes. Seems the brain trust was at a loss too. So do you vacation any ideas? Edit. She confirmed that she ghosted me. Since she apologized for it in our group chat last night, she is spinning that she was getting nervous about the wedding and wanted some time off to think. She keeps apologizing, but not what she is apologizing for. She can't even defend herself without making it worse, which would be funny if it wasn't me on the receiving end of this crap. I think the answer for a vacation is clear. 6 weeks in Europe. I can imagine her family's fuming, not just at the behavior, but also at all the money she just cost them and canceled wedding plans. You're an absolute genius. I'm looking up some right now. Take a cheap, relaxing week or two getaway. I'd suggest a beach somewhere. Then keep the rest of the money you saved up and buy that house anyway. Don't blow through it all trying to get over her, when you clearly meant so little to her that she couldn't be bothered to communicate with you once in 6 weeks. And when you buy that house, be sure to post the pictures online. Post about taking that next big step in your life and leaving everything else in the rear view mirror where it belongs. Amazing. Her only discussion point was gaslighting. I doubt this is over yet, but it doesn't matter. I'm going on vacation. I've been saving for a house for 3 years. I am going to spoil myself. Ever been to Costa Rica? That's still among the nicest places I have ever visited. You know how some people like mountains and others like beaches? There, you have both. Plus, the local beer is not bad. Did she attempt to explain or justify her springing a brake on you as she boards the plane or blocking you and everything? She even tried to change the subject to what happened on the trip instead of what happened between us at the airport. That is what she was prepared for. Now for the last update. I would like to thank everyone for helping me stand back up. I was depressed and feeling quite worthless. I leave tomorrow for my first trip across the pond, I think they say. I'm going to nerd out with my buddy and explore Edinburgh, which in the pics I looked at seems amazing. I will try to keep my Reddit family updated as much as I can. Once again, thank you all so much. Next story. Am I the a-hole for divorcing my wife because she lied about her fertility? I, male 38, have been with my wife, Natalie, female 37, for 8 years, married for 4 years. Natalie has a daughter from a previous relationship, Kaya, female 12. Kaya's dad left when she was a newborn. We have no idea where he is. I love her as if she were mine. She calls me dad and has a great relationship with me. I told Natalie from the very beginning that I would like to have biological children, and she said she's open to having more kids. After we got married, we bought a nice place and started trying for a baby. After a year, we did some testing and all came back normal. My wife said IVF would be too costly and hard on her body. I was secretly devastated, but I decided to come to terms with the fact that I'll never have any biological kids. This was until a few days ago when I found out from Natalie's sister that Natalie lied to me. She and her sister got into a fight in our house, and her sister screamed, "At least I don't take pills behind my husband's back and claim I'm infertile. Does he know you had an abortion?" I was floored. My wife kicked her sister out and started crying, saying she really didn't want another kid and didn't want to lose me. I can't believe she lied to me instead of talking to me. I just left. I have been staying at my parents' house since then. Natalie begs me to come back, and she says we can try for a baby. Kaya even messaged me to come back. My parents think I should just move on and give her another chance. She made a mistake, and she apologized. Am I the a-hole for wanting a divorce for this lie? Edit. I live in Canada. I'm pro-choice. I do believe women have to control their bodies. Don't lecture me about her rights. But this is a different case. She lied to me. I could now have my baby in my arms. I had no idea she is against having more babies until a few days ago. Abortion happened 1.5 years after our wedding. Yes, my baby. Yes, she saw me devastated and upset when she claimed we can't have a baby. I can't believe she lied in my face. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. There is nothing wrong with not wanting to have kids. There is nothing wrong with not wanting to have more kids. There is nothing wrong with changing your mind about wanting or not wanting kids. This is not about any of that. This is about the fact your partner chose over and over again to lie to you, to allow you to dream about a future she knew you won't have with her. She lied, betrayed, and misled you for years. Even if she did a 180 and honestly wanted kids now, is this really someone you would want to stay with, to co-parent with, to be the mother of your child? Thank you. This is the answer. OP, not the a-hole. If you feel deeply betrayed and you want to work on your relationship, fine. But if it's just too much, you're perfectly in the right to move on. This was a huge betrayal. OP, this isn't a little lie. It is a huge betrayal. I wouldn't forgive her. This is worse than cheating on you. She stole your chance of being a biological father when she knew this is what was important to you. That you weren't even included in the discussion about her feelings of an unwanted pregnancy. She just wanted to keep this secret forever. Glad her sister has integrity. Your wife's the a-hole. Worse than an a-hole. Unforgivable. Move on. I wouldn't say the sister has integrity, since she only told him as a gotcha to her sister. She didn't care about OP knowing and having agency over his life. She was angry and wanted to hurt her sister. Sister knew she had a kill shot and didn't care if the bullet had to pierce OP to get to her target. Perhaps sister was keeping a secret that was too big and she exploded from the weight of it all. And the sister just couldn't keep it anymore. It is awful OP found out this way. And his stepdaughter's life is about to change forever. Not the a-hole. That is not a small lie. I generally support women's right to choose, but lying is not a right. She terminated your wanted child without discussing it with you? That's a pretty high level of betrayal. She told her sister, but not you? How many people knew? How many people kept the truth from you and for how long? I'm sorry, OP. And with this guy, I'm all for lying. Everyone lies. It happens. But this isn't a I didn't do the laundry and said I did kind of lie. She denied you the possibility of choosing, went and had an abortion, probably the reason why the sister knows, and came back, looked you in the eyes and said, yes, everything's fine. Want more chicken? I'm with you, and that's coming from me who's a child-free person. This guy was upfront in wanting his own kids. She repeatedly misrepresented herself and then consciously lied every day that she popped those birth control pills. I understand not wanting more kids, but she should have been upfront with that. Instead, she robbed him of having his dream of his own biological children while she already had hers. She robbed him of almost 10 years that he could have used to find a partner to build a family with. She's nothing short of deplorable and incredibly selfish. How can she even say she loves him if this was the false life she was leading? Glad her sister outed her. Hopefully he can find someone. It just sucks that he'll be that much older and starting a family. Last story. Am I the a-hole for hitting on my girlfriend's friend after she insisted on not telling them I'm her boyfriend? My girlfriend and I have been official for a few weeks now. She hasn't introduced me to her friend group yet, which I didn't think much of at first. We were all set to hang out, but before that, my girlfriend said to me not to mention we were together. I asked why, and she said because she wasn't ready for it. For that night, I was okay with it. Afterwards, I told my girlfriend that I felt like crap, and that I wanted to be seen as her boyfriend. She said not to worry and that she will be ready soon. But the second time, she asked me not to mention it again. I was annoyed, but I agreed not to say anything. During that second time, I overheard one of her friends ask her if there was anything going on between us, and she said that I was just a friend. I was hurt, to be honest. I knew what I agreed to, but hurt to hear her say it. Later that night, one of her friends approached me and started hitting on me and asked me if I was into my girlfriend. I lied and said we were just friends. We spent the next 2 hours talking and lightly flirting. I didn't kiss her or anything like that, but did playfully shove her. I wasn't planning some revenge on my girlfriend or anything, but it felt nice to have someone flirt with me. My girlfriend was mad. She said that I crossed a line with her friend. I told her we were just having fun and nothing happened. We got into a fight, and I'm feeling confused now if I should apologize or not. Bro, go for the girl who will flirt with you in public. That means she'll hold your hand in public, kiss you in public, be with you in public, treat you like you deserve to be treated. Leave the girl who thinks that you are somebody to stay in the closet. Respect yourself. Also, this will probably be enjoyed on oh no consequences because she's the a-hole. Sounds like she's stashing you. One such challenge is the insidious practice of stashing, where a partner deliberately keeps their relationship hidden from their social circle and family. While this behavior may seem harmless at first, it can be a major red flag indicating deeper issues within the relationship. Cut or lose. Odd behavior to say the least. This happened to me. Someone who hides you doesn't deserve you. First 2 years of my marriage. Getting divorced, but took me 17 years to get it. I can think of a few reasons why your girlfriend would hide a relationship. None of them are good for you. 1, she's embarrassed of you. 2, she's not serious about the relationship. 3, she wants to be able to meet guys while hanging out with her friends, and no one will question her on it. Dump her and get with a friend, not the a-hole. Or 4, her friends already know she talks to other guys, so they'll judge her or say something if they find out she's been in a relationship the whole time. That was my first thought. If that was the case, she'd be running a huge risk of her friends asking where the other dude was. But she's dumb enough to think she can call her boyfriend just a friend right in front of him and have him be okay with it. So I'm willing to believe she'd be dumb enough to take that risk too. Yeah, from what I'm reading, this looks pretty likely. Or maybe there's a guy in the group that she wants as her backup boy. Either way, she sounds absolutely charming. Dude, that's freaking hilarious. She had that coming. The literal only reason I can think of for not wanting to let people know is because she's looking at other guys too. I would present point of view to her, but, you sure you want to do this? Not the a-hole, but mostly because she was first. Or she's not proud of him, thinks she'll be viewed as settling or something. So she wants to have him around till she finds a better option in her eyes. No matter what, it's a massive red flag. My ex-girlfriend in a nutshell. Kept me around but wanted to be with her coworker the whole time, and dumped me as soon as he got dumped himself for treating his partner like crap. It is what it is though, she's in an abusive relationship now.
My girlfriend, female 21, rejected my male 21 proposal because it didn't meet her expectations. Plus updates. Original post. For context, my girlfriend and I have been together for 6 years, and over Thanksgiving weekend, I took her on a week-long trip to Hawaii with the intention of proposing to her. I even asked her parents for their blessing and showed them the ring a couple of days before we left for the trip. We've talked about marriage before and agreed to want to marry each other, so the idea of it isn't new and is actually a frequent topic. The issue is that she wanted a grand wedding proposal, similar to the ones you might see on TikTok or Instagram. Big "marry me" letters on the beach, rose petals on the ground, lights, mariachi, etc. I was absolutely on board with doing that for her if it made her happy, but that was something to plan at a beach back home, since I didn't have the resources to organize it during a trip to a place we've never been before. Especially because we booked everything as a last-minute vacation just 5 days prior. Ironically, after she sent me videos of people vacationing in Hawaii. I thought this would be a great opportunity though. I planned to propose on the day we arrived. I carried a ring in my pocket all day, waiting for a good opportunity to ask her, knowing it wouldn't be the grand proposal she'd hoped for, but I thought given the circumstances, she'd still be happy. However, we had some completely unnecessary arguments, and I decided to postpone it because I didn't want to propose after a bitter day. On the second day, we booked a reservation to go parasailing. I didn't want to risk losing the ring, so I left it back at the hotel. We didn't get back to the hotel until around 5 p.m., and we started getting ready to go back out into the city. By this time, it was already starting to get dark. She said before that she'd want a sunset proposal, and knowing I couldn't organize all the other things she had in mind, the sunset was the only element I could focus on. I missed my chance on that, but we still went out to dinner and drinks. We came back to the hotel afterward because she was tired. I was too. It was an eventful day. I let her rest for a bit, and around 10:30 p.m., I convinced her to go on a night walk with me at the beach. This was when I planned to propose. We go to the beach. The city was still very much awake, and the lights of the buildings and streets, combined with a bright moon, illuminated the ocean beautifully. We stood there hugging and kissing, both knowing it was a beautiful and intimate moment. I started telling her how much I love her and how I want to be with her my entire life, etc. As I started to get on one knee and reach into my pocket for the ring, she stopped me. "I hope you're not about to propose to me right now. This isn't what I expected." My heart dropped. I got back up and stood speechless before starting to walk back to the hotel. I was in no mood to talk about the situation and told her we should discuss it tomorrow. We talked about it the next day and she insisted I do it again, but this time the right way during sunset. I told her I couldn't do that because she had already rejected me. She told me she didn't reject it, just that it wasn't how she wanted it to happen. We spent the next 4 days in Hawaii in a very tense state, but we had to deal with it until we got back home. We lived together, and for the first night, she stayed at her parents' house. She's back now, but I don't want to be at home with her there. What can be the outcome of this situation? I obviously didn't want this to happen during our vacation, but I can't see it any other way. Is this a valid reason for me not to want to be with her anymore? I also don't think it's right for me to redo the proposal. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. There's a chance you don't get past this, but my first thought is that it foreshadows a very demanding partner. Does she have other unrealistic expectations about money, cars, vacations, clothes, etc.? Those can be real detriments to living as partners together. You're 21. Yes, some marriages work that early, but most don't. Your brain hasn't even fully developed, generally by age 25. Marriages aren't about grand gestures. They're about shared values, having each other's backs, and being ready to be there through thick and thin. The right partner won't care about the perfect moment, what time of day or night, or whether they're on a beach or anywhere else. She sounds superficial AF. Move on and find someone who is deeper than a puddle. She's ungrateful, plain and simple. Being in Hawaii wasn't enough for her. She said she wanted grand, but no one around. She wants it at sunset on a beach. Everyone and their grandmother would be there. She seems like someone who always wants more. Please reconsider marrying her. This is a glimpse into your future. You want to marry a high-maintenance princess? Your proposal was beautiful. Your proposal was beautiful. And even as a lady, your +1 sounds so high maintenance. I see it all about her, but what's there about you? A marriage is not just about her. Maybe you are not enough for her right now. What if after bitterly accepting your subpar proposal now, she finds someone else who is within her expectations in the future? Will she then regret it? What if other things did not meet her expectations? Life is not a bed of roses. It sounds like she will never be happy enough in a life with you. Red flag, red flag. Think hard about what kind of marriage life you want, man. If the proposal isn't appropriately timed and grandiose, then what about the wedding and marriage? Not every moment has to be Instagram social media obtusely outrageous for likes and clicks. Moments can be private and just filled with love, respect, and emotion. I think you may need to reevaluate as it sounds like she has different expectations. A different expectation for a proposal can be a window into your future. Yeah, that was the argument the previous night was about. It was our first dinner there and she was glued to her phone taking pictures, posting, messaging her friends, etc. I told her about it and to put the phone down, and she retaliated saying as a girl, that's how she is, and I should accept that. I felt like I was eating alone. I may be wrong here, but you realize the wedding planning is gonna be crazy, right? She's going to go full bridezilla and want the perfect social media wedding. Crazy thing is, she says she doesn't want anything too big. Now for the first update. So we had another conversation about it once she came back home from her parents. She's still adamant that I failed to meet her expectations. Admittedly, I understand that I didn't do any of the things she had visualized. I want to emphasize that we're young, and the proposals she's seen on social media are nothing but trends. These proposals have only become popular in the last year or two. Before that, she told me she wanted an intimate proposal, especially away from the public. People are telling me I'm wrong because I knew exactly what she wanted and didn't do it. She also tells me that a proposal is solely about the woman and what she wants. I think that's BS. I know I told her that I was on board with her fantasy proposal, yet I changed my mind about it. I didn't want to plan this huge thing at our hometown beach just for the spectacle of it. I preferred to do it in a way I knew we'd both enjoy. In Hawaii especially. Something that really bugs me is that she says I made the trip seem like just another trip. Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. This was literally our first vacation flight together. The same day this happened, we had brunch, went parasailing, and had a wonderful teppanyaki dinner. Am I selfish for changing the whole proposal without consulting her? I don't understand why some people say I'm selfish for not doing what she wanted. I still did something that objectively should make any woman ecstatic. My focus now is shifting from wondering if it's okay for me to break up with her for turning me down to wanting to break up with her for her ungratefulness in general. Another reason why she said it wasn't up to her expectations was because we were both dressed casually. She wanted me to give her prior notice that something special was going to happen by telling her to get glammed up. Note: to the people asking why I couldn't propose the next day at sunset, another requirement for her proposal was for her dog to be there, which she told me that same minute after saying it wasn't what she expected. She absolutely adores this dog and has always told me she wants him to be the ring bearer at our wedding. Sure thing, if it makes her happy. I really don't mind. The issue is, she also wanted a dog to be there for the proposal, which I was absolutely unaware of, and obviously wouldn't take the dog with us. She was just too focused on how she wanted the proposal rather than being excited about being with me. Second update. We had a breakup talk. My girlfriend has always been a bit self-centered. I've known that and have been able to put up with it. About 4 months ago, she started having therapy sessions. I don't know how long they last, what days they are, or what they talk about. I do know that she has become an entirely different person. She's been more compassionate and cooperative with me, the things I've always wished for her to be more of. This caused me to be fully ready to commit to a life with her, hoping this new mentality was permanent. Anyway, she talked to her therapist and told me that she asked her one question. Do you like surprises? She tells her of course she does. She explains to her that, as her boyfriend, I most likely knew that and was trying to do something heartfelt and unscripted. No mariachi, glamorous dress, or big letters, just us two. Her therapist further told her that if she truly felt in her heart that she wanted to live a life with me, all the superficial stuff shouldn't matter. She apologized to me, telling me she really regrets how she acted and assuring me she would have said yes anyway. My biggest regret is I'll never really know what she would have said. Though in my gut, I'm not 100% sure she would have said yes. Her first thoughts during that moment were completely dismissive of me and disrespectful, something that, for once, I feel like I can't take anymore. I'm standing my ground, telling her I've swallowed my pride way too many times in the past and we should go through with a breakup. I'll be sleeping on a couch. She'll be packing her things tomorrow and going to live with her parents. Proposals shouldn't have drama and be the perfect moment of one's life, but sometimes it isn't the case. Young love is definitely something, huh? I proposed while eating dinner at the table on an idle Tuesday, and I originally asked her out straight after she brought me a pie, which I immediately vomited up, turned to her, and asked, "Wanna go out?" at a gas station when she was giving me a ride home after I was drunk at a work bash. That was 20 years ago. This wonderful woman said yes both times. I absolutely don't deserve her. My husband dropped the ring in my wine glass, thinking I would see it. But it had been a rough day at work, so I slammed it, choked on my ring, and had to throw it back up. Dignity and grace I am not. Good times. My brother put our mom's ring in a handmade box our cousin gave him. The box had a special magnetic lock, except he lost the magnet that opened the box and couldn't get hold of a replacement, so he had to first be like, "There's a ring in this box. I'll give it to you once I figure out how to open it again," Will you marry me? Luckily, he and sister-in-law's dad were able to undo the hinges to open the box. I don't know what he'd have done if that hadn't worked. I am 100% telling his daughter that story among others, once she's older. My boyfriend planned to propose on a trip to Budapest. That evening before our departure, he started panicking, wondering, what if I'm asked to open my suitcase before boarding? What if she sees the ring before I ask? What if... He panicked and decided to ask me on the spot instead. Back then, I was struggling with an abusive manager at work. I had had a terrible day and was stress eating old Doritos leftovers while sitting on a sofa. I was filthy, sweaty, and covered in crumbs. My hair was dirty and up in a messy bun. Not the cute Pinterest messy bun, but more like a psycho under a bridge with matted hair bun. When I saw my boyfriend kneeling next to our second-hand sofa in our teeny tiny apartment, I couldn't believe it. He wants to marry me? Even when I look like this? My brain collapsed, and I admit the first thing I managed to say was, "Oh no, I want to kiss you, but it's going to taste like old Doritos," or something along those lines. He laughed and said it didn't matter, and we kissed while crying. That was 8 years ago. We are still happily married and have 2 wonderful kids. He is still my best friend and still makes fun of me because I didn't see the proposal coming, even after he played the Lord of the Rings soundtrack to cue me in on the imminent ring coming. I love him to pieces. Wanting to marry somebody who looks their best while on the most romantic spot is easy. Find somebody who sees you at your worst and still can't wait to marry you. Last story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend of 6 months 2 days before her birthday? I, 27 male, broke up with my girlfriend, 25 female of 6 months, who kept calling me an idiot, retard, etc. She first started doing it a couple of months ago, and I told her respectfully that it bothered me. I explained that I had dealt with this in a prior relationship and did not take it lightly, even if it's meant as a joke. She said okay, but gave off a reaction that made it clear she still thought I was overreacting. After that, she would slip up and accidentally say it, then follow up with something like, "Oh, I'm sorry you don't like that," and try to move on as though it was nothing. I ignored it until a few weeks ago when I got fed up and still respectfully told her that if she persisted, I would ignore things she had told me were important to her. She was offended by what she called a threat, and we had our first fight. We both apologized and agreed to do better. That evening, she slipped up again and called me a pea-brain. I ignored it, but went to bed feeling angry and sad. The next morning, she slipped up again and said retard. I'm not a physical person, nor do I shout or yell, but I need time to myself when I'm mad, so I left her and went to the living room. She started weeping profusely and accused me of emotional manipulation. At that point, we had our second fight, and I told her she was at fault. We kind of made up, but I wasn't feeling 100%. So I told her the next day that this was a deal breaker for me if it happened again. She agreed, and I thought the issue was resolved. Yesterday, she called me an idiot over nothing. I just left and took some time for myself. She sent me messages saying I was punishing her with my silence and that I was overreacting for not wanting to hear her apology and accept that this is hard for her to control. Today, I broke up with her and felt super crappy about it since her birthday is just a few days away. Her rant during the breakup was so insulting and infuriating. She called me overtly sensitive, manipulative for not wanting her apology, and said that her patience and acceptance of my erectile dysfunction problems of late should be met with the same patience and support for her struggling not to call me an idiot or retard. She even said my ego is too big to accept any mistakes. I told her that, evidently, we have massively differing views on this, and breaking up appears to be the best course of action in the end. So Reddit, am I the a-hole here? Edit 1. Just to answer what a lot of you have asked, no, she does not have Tourette's, but most likely some kind of defiance syndrome. 2. The ED started before her, but her behavior and being controlling in bed did not help. 3. To all the dudes in the comments telling guys like myself to just be a man, stop. Just stop what you're doing and move on. This thread isn't for you, but hopefully for someone who's dealing with the same stuff I did and or worse. Instead of belittling people like my ex did, do some good karma and make someone else feel empowered enough to end their suffering and get help. Or if you can't do that, then make some karma by not saying or doing anything. Now for the comments. Nope, douche canoe deserves to be set free. Maybe she can learn how to treat people better. I doubt she'll get it though. Not the a-hole. Good luck to you. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully she learns, but I doubt that. From the looks of our last convo, she's determined that this is just me throwing a hissy fit over a minor accident. You're not the a-hole. Setting boundaries is essential in any relationship, and it sounds like you communicated your feelings clearly. It's unfortunate that she didn't respect your request and continued to belittle you. Ending the relationship was a tough but necessary decision for your well-being. Thank you. Honestly, I hate being the one who makes someone else feel bad. And it was so unfortunate that this had to happen 2 days before her birthday. But judging from her reaction during the breakup today, I'm glad I did it. Hell no, not the a-hole by any stretch. She wants a retard, let her find one.